friend Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review, and this is one that I was kind of excited about. It's kind of funny because like on the way to, I had a couple shows this week with my band, and on the way to one of the shows, me and the guitar player were talking about Nazareth, and I said, yeah, you're the one that actually turned me on to these guys. I remember sitting around your house cranking up the old the early first 2-3 Nazareth albums and like really getting into them, and we actually recorded a version of Miss Misery off of Hair of the Dog, which was a little bit later on, and we were talking about how I got the album to Excess, and he was mentioning, oh yeah, that was like one of those missed gems type things. Like I actually did a review on that, so you should check that one out too. But so anyway, when I saw this was coming out, I saw Thursday this was coming out on Friday, I was like pretty excited. It's Nazareth, Full Circle Tour Live 1981. Didn't know it was coming out until Thursday, so I didn't get a chance to get it ordered till Friday, and I didn't want to wait for the physical, so I actually got this off of Bandcamp. You guys hear me talking about Bandcamp all the time. It's actually put up by Cleopatra Records, which is strange because I thought Bandcamp was for like independent artists, so I'm not sure exactly how these record labels are on there now. They must have changed things around a little bit, but anyway, that aside, I actually I still have the physical coming, but I couldn't wait to listen to it. So, jumping right into it, this is right after they got done recording their Full Circle album, which, is kind of another overlooked gem. I think it's a pretty good album, although their catalog is so strong early on that, they had a lot to choose from on this tour. And, for me anyway, their catalog kind of like a roller coaster ride later on, some good, some bad, but this is right near the end of like the really good run of like everything was good, in my opinion. I always have to put that in there. I don't want to tick people off too much, but we all have our own opinions. Now, not much information on this because I haven't gotten it yet, so I'm just going off what's on the site here, and I'm guessing this has got Billy Rankin on it because he joined like right after the recording of that, and I can hear 2 guitar parts. And John Locke on keyboards did record on this album, and he's obviously all over this live album. It's keyboards all over this thing. So that being said, it's definitely got a different sound. They had that full band for a few years there. They went back to a 4-piece later on, but for quite a few years they had the 5-piece thing going on. Now, I didn't know if this was like a full concert at first or if it was like just select tracks from throughout the tour or what, but I'm guessing it's just select tracks throughout the tour because the sound quality is all over the place. First song, Telegram, kicks in, and it's kind of rough, the recording of it, which is a weird song to kick off with because it's not, and I don't think it's one of their strongest songs, but it's a good song. They throw in So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star in the middle of it, kind of extended out a little bit, which is kind of cool. They did a thing with it live, which I like bands when they do that. Some people don't like it. I like it. But, like I said, that it was a little rough, so I was like, oh boy, let's hope it's not like this for the whole thing. But then Big Boy kicked in, and the recording level went to a better level. So full sounding, it didn't sound like it was like a recorded off somebody standing in the audience. It sounded like it was a soundboard recording, so I don't know if the first one was or not. But and it's funny because I never really cared for the song Big Boy too much, so I could take it or leave it, but live it took on a whole new life of its own. It was great. Same thing with Hair of the Dog. I obviously always liked that song. It's actually one of the first songs I ever heard from them. Live it just sounded more beefy and heavy, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Probably because I got 2 guitars playing and a little bit added stuff there. The only weak thing was the background vocals, but you can't get everything, I guess. But anyway, it was a fun listen. Then you get Expect No Mercy, which is cool. Nothing extravagant happened with that. They just played it pretty much like it is. The one that really caught my ear a lot was Shapes of Things to Come, which is like an old Yardbird song, I believe. And their version of it's just insane. Like Dan Cafferty's voice there is, Dan McCafferty's voice is just like, it's, and I mean this in a good way. It's like he's swallowing glass type sound through his voice, and then it's like made that song heavy and like took on a whole new life of its own. I thought that was pretty cool. And then of course we had Love Hurts, which was pretty much just the way they did it on the album. It sounded great. The one thing about this, he's singing on this, is they're playing is like perfect. They really don't make goofy mistakes. There's no like blunders or anything. They were like spot on all this. Then they did a cover of Tush, which was okay. I don't really care for that song much, but I actually like their version better than the original. Razmanaz, I Want to Do Everything For You, which is a really short song, but then they kick in Holiday, which I actually love that song. And live, it just sounded just like a whole new life came on when they did it live. And Hearts Grown Cold also, they kind of did those back to back. And I've always loved both of those songs. Now, this is where it gets a little weird. The end of the album is like a little strange. They do Cocaine, which is from the Full Circle album, but it's live on the Full Circle album as well. And it's live here, but their version of it is completely different than the Clapton and I can't think of the guy's name who wrote it now. It's slipping my mind, but their version of it. I know I'm gonna like hit myself in the head afterwards, thinking I can't remember who wrote the song, but anyway, they added a whole new like reggae feel to it with this crazy bass line behind it, and it just took on a whole new life of its own. So that was interesting. So if you're expecting the regular old standard of that, it's not like that at all. Then they did Let Me Be Your Leader, which is not the strongest song ever, but I guess they were promoting the album, so they kind of had to do that one. I don't know if they kept doing that song like later on, but I don't know. Didn't do much for me on here. That's probably the weakest spot on the album. They did Dress to Kill, which is also from the Full Circle. It sounded great live. And then they ended with Pop the Silo, which was like all... I thought it was going to blow my speakers. The low end was so low, just low and boomy and overpowering. So I don't know what's happening with that. So for me, Let Me Be Your Leader and Pop the Silo could have been taken right off, and then this would have been a great listen. It was a great listen, and I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was fun. Really enjoyed it. If you're a Nazareth fan, you're going to love this. You're going to want this in your collection. It was definitely worth it. A couple little low spots, but other than that, the rest of it was great. It was a fun listen. Had a chance to see these guys, and I missed it way back, and now this is making me regret it. So anyway, if you guys have any like cool stories or things you want to share about Nazareth, your opinions, feel free as always. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, whatever I'm saying. I don't even know. Too early in the morning, so I haven't even had my second cup of coffee yet. But anyway, till I talk to you guys next time. See ya.